I'm Kim.
I'm Brad.
We're 6260 Ohana, California, and today we're going to be talking about Universal Studios Hollywood's Halloween Horror Night updates.
Yeah, so we went to Universal Studios Hollywood yesterday, September 2nd, and just kind of for our normal day. And to our surprise, there was a lot of stuff there.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, so we really wanted to give you an update of what we saw, what's going on, and actually some merchandise that just came out yesterday. So let's go ahead and get started. New York Street.
So when you first come in, there's kind of this traditional entryway, and they had what looked like some demons and skeletons. Kind of usually where they kind of do the opening, like...
Right when you walk in, you have that spooky, that main area that comes in. And they have it there again.
There was an area that we kind of debated about what it was going to be, because there's something called Dante's Inferno Nightclub.
Yeah, and we had a confusion on it. Kim was kind of thinking...
It might be part of the RIP tour just because it said a VIP entrance. And then the only thing about that is because the RIP tour says that there's going to be different special areas. Places that you can buy alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, and upon closer inspection when I was looking at it, I think it is just a facade. And the reason for this is if you look at there's a door there and you see a ton of cabling for the lighting and everything come out. So I think it's just to make it look cool.
I think Brad might be right, but I'm kind of hoping I'm right. Just because that would be so much cooler.
Okay, then we have to talk about Universal Monsters Silver Screen Queens.
So that's another scare zone, and that's kind of up by the Paris European area. Kind of also where they have the RIP lounge dinner kind of area.
Yeah, and that's more of the, I would say, the classic Universal scary. And actually, when we were walking through there, we saw Frankenstein. And in the shadows, we saw...
Oh, that's right. Dracula.
Yeah, we didn't. We just kind of turned the corner and he was kind of coming out of the shadows. So we're like, okay. And this is during the day.
Yeah, I figured I'd stay from the sunlight.
But the sets seem fairly similar, just different theming a little bit, I would put it.
But to me, it kind of has like an old, elegant Hollywood Halloween spooky vibe going with it. And it's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then another thing that we saw, and this is kind of the big thing that just came out yesterday, are the tribute stores for the Studio Store lower lot.
Wait, there's a tribute store?
Yeah. So we ran into it, and actually they were just getting done setting up a lot of this stuff.
Okay, so why I say that is because there's not been any formal announcement that there's a tribute store, kind of like they do in Orlando. But down at the Studio Store at the lower lot, they have, when the store's redone with all kinds of... themed displays. It's kind of had some fun pictures we took. So we'll show you that.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of different stuff. And there was some really cool stuff. One thing we need to talk about are the Halloween masks. They had a whole wall full of Halloween masks.
It was so cool. It's definitely a Hollywood grade studio, but they're expensive.
Yeah, I was seeing prices $70 to $80 depending on the mask. And the one I could not get a price on, unfortunately, at the time was the one that lights up with the Lady Liberty with the X'd out eyes and all that.
It's like a purge style.
So that's something I couldn't figure out. I'm guessing that's probably more than $80. But the Michael Myers was $70 if I remember correct.
Yeah, and that one's really plain, but they had a Chucky.
Yeah.
They had Frankenstein. It was really cool, some of these masks. But you also have to pick it up at the end of the night, so you can't wear that around the event.
I wonder why.
Limited vision, trying to act like scare actors. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Another really cool thing, and this is what I thought was extremely cool, was there are classic horror lunchboxes. You know those old metal lunchboxes that some of us, maybe me, older age, remembers when they were still metal? They had these in different movie themes. So you had Chucky, a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, The Exorcist, but it's kind of gross because it's a Linda Blair puking.
Yeah,
that was gross.
And there was another side that said The Exorcist on it, and so there are two-sided for the different views.
They had the Mummy, the Swamp Thing, which was swimming. That one was cool.
Yeah, and I'll show you all of them right now. There was several of them that were really neat. Unfortunately, I did not get a price on them. I forgot. I got in my excitement. Forgot all about it.
So that would be cool as lunchbox, or ladies, sometimes we use stuff like that as purses instead, so that'd be kind of fun.
And from the weight of them, there was no thermos inside of them.
Okay, now you're going back really old school.
But there was another big surprise that we saw too, and there's a lot of Chucky merchandise.
Right, but there's no Chucky kind of like in the scare zones. There's no mention of Chucky on the Terror Tram, or he doesn't have his own dedicated maze, but they had t-shirts, masks, magnets, socks, things like that had Chucky. So we asked some team members about it, and they said, no, there's no Chucky, unless that's going to be some kind of surprise.
Which we're hoping there is, but from what we were getting from the team members,
That's
the last time they had Chucky and we were there, they had the imports, what was it, the
Insult Emporium.
Sorry. Thank you. And that was...
It got a little out of hand.
But I think at that time you had to be, they were recommending being over 18 to be in, and this is a little bit more...
They say
family-friendly,
13 and over nowadays.
which we'll test out this year. And all the merchandise that you were showing, all the shirts and everything else, all of it's not there quite yet.
So when the team members told us about a Spirit jersey, that I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what that'll look like. I love Spirit jerseys.
Yes, and so it's really neat, all this merchandise. And they do have merchandise in different locations of the park, not just the tribute store. There is one up in the main store up right when you enter into
The Universal
store. And then today they were actually just putting in the one on City Walk.
So that's really exciting. More to come. It's like a sneak peek. I'll tell you, it was really hard being at the parks because there's all this stuff starting to pop up and it gets you so excited. It's like, oh, so close, but yet so far away.
Talking about excited, what we saw was on that tram tour.
So part of the tram turns into the Terror Tram, and it's supposed to be Purge themed this year. So they had the mannequins out, which kind of near the Bates Motel, kind of that world of what's that world of
War of the Worlds, you know, the big 747 that is dismantled everywhere. They're like in between there and you can see them.
What the freaky part was is you'll see is they're kind of wrapped in plastic, and it was a little windy at times, especially when the tram was coming by. They were kind of moving. So I was kind of wondering, is this like a preview and like somebody's going to jump out or something?
At first I was trying to figure out if they had them gift wrapped for some reason in clear plastic. I'm like, that's kind of freaky.
It was totally freaky. But it's definitely a taste of what's to come.
And then also when you're on the studio tour tram is that you go by the Bates Motel, of course. Mm-hmm. And actually this time you can't really see a whole lot of it. And that's because...
Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, so there's going to be a maze over there, some sort of kind of looked like.
Over by the Bates Motel, it looks like down in that little parking lot, there's going to be some sort of maze down there that has to do with the Terror Tram. And then up above, they're going to have like the whole Purge.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to have Norman up on the porch like they did for the studio tour tram or not, or when you're walking that way. I kind of hope so, because I really like Norman.
I know, you do like to mess with Norman.
I always ask him how Mother is. So, yeah, there was a lot in that area we got to see. You get to drive by, and you get to see the sets that have been up for a little bit, which is the Haunting of Hill House and Pandora's Box that's up in that little corner area at the end of the tour.
It is, but those are down by the parking lot. We are told it's probably because of those two and where the mazes are. For the first time ever, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is going to be open for Halloween Horror Nights.
So they will have the rides open if you
are a wizard fan.
For me, it's really hard to go when you're paying that much to get through those mazes. And
okay, so we have a video link below. It's about Halloween Horror Nights. What to expect this year in 2021, the pricing, the breakdown.
Some of the mazes that have been announced, everything else.
So it's really in-depth, a lot more than this is. This is an update. So if you want a lot more information, check out that tour. Links below.
Okay, so, what else did we see there? It was kind of interesting.
Okay, so the RIP tour, we love it. We've done it. Once again, we'll link our tour from 2019 down below, and you can see what that's like. There is a lounge for the RIP tour that has dinner, drinks, and photo ops.
Yeah, and we'll show you part of the photo op we saw there. She looked really tired on the couch. Dead tired. I love my dad jokes.
Yeah, it looks like a fun area. We always enjoy that. It's kind of a fun, and there's always a gorgeous view of the whole valley up there.
What's interesting about that, they did not have that into 2019 when we did the RIP tour.
What didn't they have?
They didn't have that, like a photo op right there.
No, it was in a different area.
Talking of different lounges and areas, there is another one down by Jurassic Cafe for the RIP tour.
Previously on the other side of the Jurassic Cafe, up above the decks where you can eat, on the furthest one away near Jurassic World, is kind of they had before. It was Stranger Things, and they had photo ops, a bar, desserts, things up there. We noticed yesterday that area is blocked off half of it, and it looked like a bar was set up.
Yeah, and it looked like a beer company was sponsoring that area. So I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be RIP only, but I'm kind of guessing it is from years past of what we had.
Or maybe it's open to everybody. Who knows? So that's something to watch out for. Kind of a cool area to overlook everything because we've been up there before on Halloween Horror Nights to kind of see what's going on down on the street.
And talk about bars. Talk about the Central Plaza area. So that's the area that's like that big circle area in between the restaurants and the upper area.
On the upper lot.
And it kind of looks like that's going to be maybe like a beer garden type place where you get different drinks, bars, possible photo apps, and a dance floor.
Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. So to me, one area for photos it's like a Dia de los Muertos theme. And it kind of has what looks like one of those shadow boxes that could be like a photo op area.
Yeah, and it looked like it had several different areas so you can do photo ops. Another thing is it is sponsored by Modelo. So that would be to your word that I cannot say. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at Spanish.
Dia de los Muertos.
Thank you. And we're kind of wondering if this is going to be an area so they contain alcohol in these areas.
I'm kind of thinking this is definitely going to have a nightclub vibe-ish, I think. And because it looks like there's a DJ stand, open area for potential nightclub dancing, I would maybe think.
Yeah, and another thing about this is I've been kind of speculating, I haven't really gone over with Kim with, is that I think these areas actually allow them to control 21 and over to be able to drink, so they're not having people going out with drinks into younger kids, especially now that we have a younger demographic going to these than what it was in years past. Okay,
so previously they used to make Halloween Horror Nights a slight bit scarier. Definitely over 18, a lot more language, a lot more swearing, to be honest, a lot more innuendos, things like that maybe kids wouldn't. It's been toned down a bit.
Yeah.
This year we're actually taking our son as a teenager for the first time. We are definitely going to do a review from his point of view and seeing like, hey, is this really something that we're comfortable that we took our teenage son to? Because he kind of enjoys some of the minor horror movies. Yes. So we'll kind of see about that too.
So that's what we got. It's been a very interesting day yesterday. We weren't expecting all this stuff yesterday when we went. And it's been a lot of fun. So we're excited to see it. And of course, we are going to be doing the RIP tour as well this year. And we'll have an update on that. And tell us what you think of all this different merchandise and the different things going on this year. We've gotten into talks that maybe this is really classic movies for Halloween Horror Nights this year and compared to what it's been years past. Are you excited for this year's Disappointed in the Mazes? Let us know down below.
And if you find this video helpful, please like, subscribe.
And follow along with our Ohana.
And one last thing is masks. Of course, everybody wants to know what the face mask rules are going to be. Because this is a big event. We speculated before and we were wrong. We'll not have to wear face masks outside. In the mazes and the rides, attractions, things like that, you'll have to wear your masks. So that's the news updates. We're so excited. Tell us if you're going. We'd love to hear. We love to talk about Halloween Horror Nights. And
so with that, I think it's time for us to say goodbye and find your magic.
Bye, everyone.